You are checking after the yes with Sarah Jane.
Hello. Hi, After the Yes fam. This is Sarah Jane, and thank you so much for coming back. Ooh, let me fix this pillow because we're going to keep it cash, okay? You know, I like to bust down some knowledge with you guys every week when you join me. But, you know, I figure we've bonded, we've grown together, gotten a little bit more comfortable. So I decided to do a story time. What do you think about that? Is that good with you guys? I'll keep it short and sweet. I'll try. But I thought, you know, to break tradition for this week's episode and just share some interesting weddings I've had a chance to experience along the way. And one thing that I've stopped saying is I've seen it all. I realize now, 15 years into this, I have not seen it all. And I continue to get surprised at least once or twice a year. So before we dive into it, and I give my first story time, what did you guys bring to the podcast today? You know, tried and true. I keep the champs, but you know, I say whatever works for you. Mocktail, margarita. I've said it a couple times, so I feel like one of these upcoming episodes, I'm gonna have to hook myself up one. Okay, so if you have your drink ready, let me start with. So I did a wedding a few years ago, and it was definitely a first. Now, mind you, I've done weddings for like 800 guests, and those are definitely doozies. So I would say this one about 300 to 350 guests, easy, right? There's six of us on deck. Let's get it. Let's get after it. We're going to have a wonderful celebration. I planned with this couple for about 14 months, okay? We start off late. Anybody that knows me will tell you one of my biggest pet peeves is we start off late. So that's number one. And I have amazing relationships with vendors. I call them frienders. They're fam. This particular photographer that the client had that day, and that was one of the few that was not my recommendations, actually. I think it was somebody that they were familiar with from maybe another family member's wedding. They went and did before shots, they went and did first looks, all that wonderful stuff, which I think is great because that gives them more time to party and stuff later. He kept them for about 45 minutes. And by the time he brought the couple back, they were we were 20 minutes behind, 20 or 30 minutes behind for ceremony. Okay. So our ceremony was already late. So we're starting about 45 minutes late into everything. So that was number one. I'm exhaling, and you want to keep a smile. You want to keep it chill because you don't want the couple to stress. You don't want anybody to see angst on your face. So let's go. Let's keep it moving. We do checks. We have checklists. There's two on the ceremony. There's two on the reception, and this one was a lot of setup. There was a lot going on. I think we started at like 7 a.m. that day. By the time we get to ceremony time, it's 6 p.m. Okay, work with me here. So we're doing checks. Did cake arrive? Did DJ arrive? Lighting arrive? We did outside catering, so that way the family had all their traditional like food and the things they wanted. And this was a nice mix. The groom's family was Nigerian and the bride's family is Ethiopian. So we got a caterer from each side. Mom of the groom took care of the Nigerian caterer, and then mom of the bride took care of the Ethiopian caterer. 300 plus people, okay? The Nigerian caterer, we realize, is not there yet. We're calling. We're calling. We're texting. They're on their way. Any minute now. Any minute now. Ceremony happens. No Nigerian caterer. So we essentially had split everything in half. Like they were providing half of the food, the Ethiopian caterer providing half of the food. So Mind you, we're late, so people are hungry. There's still no Nigerian caterer. What happens during cocktail hour? There's half the amount of food. So 300 plus guests. So when you say 6 p.m. ceremony time, I would say at least 60% started arriving by 5:30. So then when you start late, they're hungry. And so some people have been in that ceremony space now for like an hour, 15, hour, 20 minutes. Long lines, only food that's at cocktail hour is the food that showed up on time from the Ethiopian caterer. Long lines, and within 20 minutes at best, all of the Ethiopian food for cocktail hour is gone because we thought we were going to have cocktail hour food from 2 caterers. Am I sweating? No, you're sweating. No, we're all sweating. In the meantime, hey, yeah. Talk about trying to keep it cool because you don't want to allude to guests that there's an issue. You definitely don't want to allude to your couple that there's an issue. But at this point, there's a little bit of an issue. So the bar is packed, but holy cow, people are going to start drinking and there's not enough substance to soak that liquor up. The show must go on. But at this point, like, had to pull out the Batman phone and pull the bride and the groom to the side. I actually approached the groom first. The bride is the queen. We don't want her feathers ruffled for anything. I pull the groom to the side, explain him the situation. So then he talks to the mom, who, of course, is shocked. She doesn't want anything to not go well for her son. They're also calling. So at this point, there was like 4 or 5 of us calling, texting. The show must go on. Buffet setup starts with the Ethiopian food, but mind you, it's not enough to feed everyone. So remember, we're running behind. So let's cut cocktail hour short. Let's get everybody to their tables so we can get the main show on the road. As if the other things that I had not mentioned did not cause angst enough. I tell you, if I did not have a paper bag to breathe in that day, I may never need one ever. So here we go. There's 2 huge seating charts because there's over 300 plus people, right? Table numbers, gorgeous, elaborate tables. I think we had 3 or 4 different designs. People start coming up to myself and my team. There's 6 of us saying, there's no seat at my table. I can't find my table. We have a master list, Excel spreadsheet that's several pages because there's 300 people. We have the floor plan with all the table numbered. We don't understand. Hence, we find out that there was about 40 guests that showed up that had not RSVP'd, that were invited by other family members. And some were just sitting wherever they wanted. Some took chairs away from other tables, and things got so just out of pocket. Guests started taking the table numbers off. So that way people were not looking for table 12 that they were supposed to be seated at. When I say wild, honestly, never seen anything like it. So we cannot get the introduction started. We cannot get the program underway if we can't get everybody in their seats. How in the world do 30 plus people show up? We did not have extra tables. And I had honestly, to that point, had never seen, I've seen a chair. I've seen a chair move a time or 2. That has happened. But to start taking table numbers off the table, so people did not know where they were sitting, their actual table number, for the seats that were being taken by guests who had not RSVP'd or were invited just casually, and they showed up. So what does this cause? This causes tension. This causes anxiety. Who told me? No one told me I needed to bring my referee whistle. Like, oh my gosh, because that is really what it was about. I probably saw about 3 or 4 confrontations that evening over tables, over people that were supposed to sit there and now didn't have seats. I even had a guest say, make me move. Oh, what? This really happened. So again, now the bride and groom are in the foyer waiting for introductions. Why have we been standing out here for 20 minutes? It's because there's not enough seats. So I had to have the conversation and then say, I'm letting you know people are heated, people are upset, and people are saying, make me move, and people are starting to argue about it. So what do? Find a seat. I'm so sorry. I sincerely apologize. Find a seat. Whoever invited you, go talk to them. You pay so much money for this time, and we want to party and celebrate. So the wedding that had already started, how late now is even later because it is taking so much time to diffuse the angst that's happening in the room because people's seats are being taken, table numbers are disappearing, and I did not have that on my bingo card that day. So we try to diffuse that. Some people are sitting in the foyer, some people are sitting in the benches outside because there's just not enough. You would think, okay, well, it is what it is. It's buffet, so it'll work itself out. Some people maybe are just gonna have to eat like in the foyer area, and then when it's time to dance, come one, come all. So should that be it? Like that was enough. But wait, there's more. Introductions happen. We roll through it as quick as possible, because if you are familiar with Nigerian and Ethiopian weddings, there's the family comes in first, right? The groom's family comes in, they march in, the bride's family, they march in. So introductions on its own was going to take about 15, 20 minutes. What? Yes, we're getting even later. All right. We get to the bride and groom, it's time for them to come in. And we had Dancing on the Clouds, which is like the smoke machine that's happening. Their song is playing. I'm off to the side. Oh, getting teary-eyed. So sweet, so pretty, so romantic. What is this that I hear? What? Is there arguing? Is there bantering? What's going on? The DJ is now, or the MC is now having a loud disagreement with one of the guests from the bride side of the family because he did not like how much time the music was played for their family to march in. This is an older gentleman, the gentleman that approached the MC. This disagreement is happening while the bride and groom are having their first dance. The argument is getting so loud, they actually stop dancing and turn to see what's happening. So now the attention is no longer on the dance floor. More people start coming over to diffuse the situation. I'm trying to diffuse the situation. I'm like, it's no first. Literally, using my inside voice. I get pushed out of the way. Like this. Literally, this happened. And then now the family member is in the face of the MC, and he wasn't about to play with it. He wasn't playing with it. So now they're literally physically having to get in between the MC and this family member. The DJ is trying to play the music. The MC is supposed to be just doing a little light chatter. The bride and groom are trying to stay here. Oh, I love you. I love you too. This is so beautiful. And trying to tune out that noise. This was one wedding. You would think all those instances I'd be sharing 3 or 4 different stories. This was uno más. But wait, there's more. Somehow we get through that, diffuse the situation. People are hungry. It's been a long day. The food shows up about an hour into the reception, the other caterer. They're rushing as fast as possible. The venue staff, the catering staff, it's all hands on deck to set the food that had just gotten there on the tables. And mind you, remember we started late. So imagine if it had started on time, just how late the caterer would be, right? And then as soon as people see the food is set up, they just go, they just bolt, because it's 8 o'clock after at this point. So guests that arrived at 5:30 didn't catch any cocktail food, they're over it. Speeches, different stuff is happening. The line in the foyer for the buffet for dinner is yay long. We didn't have a chance to call tables. We didn't have a chance to feed the bride and groom first. And everybody was just like, we're eating. Let's just go for it. We're eating. What? It took me, I'm not kidding. Normally on a Saturday wedding, Sunday I'm in a vegetative state because it takes a lot out of you. I said we started at 7 a.m. that day because it was a lot of setup. Beautiful, amazing setup. From 7 a.m. to 1 a.m. on Sunday, I was literally in a vegetative state from the exhaustion of the day and mentally just from one hit after another. It was honestly unlike anything that I've ever seen. So, what did I learn from that? Because there's always takes. There's always takes from such experiences. Is if they know that their family is known for that, or there's any likelihood that that can happen, we need to have those extra tables just on standby. Some part of it you just can't control because, again, it was not on my bingo card to ever have guests just start taking table numbers off of tables. So people weren't arguing saying, this is my seat, this is my table. I had honestly never seen that in my entire career, and I've never seen it since, thank God. But dealing and working with caterers, and the caterers were part of the staffing meeting. They were part of the final walkthrough. We were all on the same page, where to load in, where to load out the food. And so some things were out of your control. And sometimes when the family wants to use a specific caterer, I serve at the pleasure of the couple. And so it was just going to be what it was going to be. But one of the biggest things that I am super passionate about is if we know we can't get a head count of every single person, or if it's just the culture to be like, oh, hey, my niece is getting married on Saturday. What are you doing? Just come. There's going to be plenty of food. Have those extra tables. And how can you control how guests are going to react? Family members are going to react in certain situations. Yeah. So that was one. And we all, like myself and my whole team, I think all had to take 2 and take 2 days, take 2 pills and take 2 days to recover from that one. So that is true story, all facts. There was no exaggerations in said message. Another one, another fun story time. What happens when the date of a bridesmaid shows up inebriated, drunk? All right. Picture the scene. Destination wedding. Amazing couple, beautiful couple. Not a beachside wedding, which I loved. It was different. We rented a villa. The whole entire property is ours. They showed up early in the morning. They did TikToks, they did videos. We had the champs and cocktails flowing. Just mwah, chef's kiss. Everything was amazing. Setup was gorgeous. Red roses and green and black, really lush. So everything was going spot on. Like, we got this, we can do this, right on, show you right, all of that jazz. The ceremony is over. Again, everything's beautiful. We had hired a mariachi band for cocktail hour. So the ceremony ends, the mariachi, yay, 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 like just 5-piece mariachi, all's going great. They're taking pictures during cocktail hour. That's standard, especially if you don't see each other before. That's going great. Setup's going great. As I go to the suite, I'm not sure if I was going to get her backup shoes or something. I go to the suite and I see a gentleman come out of a cab. So he did not come on the shuttle that we provided all the other guests. No biggie. Then he's arguing with the cab. Said destination wedding was in Mexico, if I didn't mention that. So they're arguing. And at some point, it's definitely about financial. Like, you owe me more. He's like, no, you're not. You guys always try to get over. Okay, I'm trying to mind the business that pays me. So some kind of yelling and cursing goes back and forth. The cab speeds off. Okay. He goes into the crowd, but it's clear he's not well. So I go have a conversation. So remember how I said I always have like a point of contact, because I never want to ruffle the feathers of the bride and groom. So I had a point of contact and I was like, hey, there was just this little something. So just to keep an eye out. I'm not sure who he is or who he's with. He just got here, but there was an argument in the parking lot, and the property manager of the villa wasn't happy about it. And she even tried to pay the cab, and the guest was like, no, it's a principle of the matter. It was one of the groomsmen. He's like, all right, no problem. As soon as we are done with pictures, I'm going to find out who this person is and just make sure it's cool. All right, bet. I'm back in the suite. I'm in the suite, long day. I literally sit down, scrolling through my phone really quick. It's still cocktail hour. I just got done talking to the MC and the DJ. So I'm like, all right, I got 5 minutes. What did I miss? I'm scrolling, you guys. I'm scrolling. Out of the peripheral, someone knocks on this glass, like, because it's a sliding glass door into the bridal suite. It's a staff member. And I'm like, and he goes, I'm like, me? Like, what's up? And he's like, you come. Okay. So I opened the sliding back glass doors. The cab driver wasn't over it. He was mad. What he went to do was get back up. He went and got back up. So now there's 2 cab drivers. And the guy who, I guess, shorted the first cab driver payment is back. So now he's arguing with the both of them. And he's ready to go. You know, liquid courage, it'd be like that sometimes. He's ready to go. The venue manager is talking to the guy. Please stop. No, you can't do this. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. So I go back, because the groomsmen, they're still taking pictures. I'm not exaggerating at all. They're still taking pictures. I literally, like, behind the photographer, I'm like, and he's like, what? And I'm like, trying to say, like, they're about to fight. I'm literally doing this. So I need you to come. And this is the sign I do, because I'm not trying to yell. And again, I'm trying to be oblivious to the bride and groom. So he's like, okay. So as I'm walking back to the parking lot, the second cab driver, the backup, is swinging a metal pipe at the guest who stiffed, who showed up inebriated. Then he starts running through the property. He runs through cocktail hour. He runs through inside the villa. Mind you, the cab driver is running after him with this steel pipe. I'm being punked. Where is the camera? Ashton, come out now. It was really all going down this way. The property manager is over it. They're like, he's got to go. Now we find out in the process of this all, he's the date of one of the bridesmaids. And I did not mention he showed up to the wedding with a black eye. So seems to be someone that gets in altercations, perhaps. Come to find out, actually, the bridesmaid gave him the black eye the night before because he was talking out the side of his mouth. But that just gives you a picture. So the groomsmen finally come, diffuse the situation. Some guys are talking to him. Some guys are talking to the bridesmaid because obviously she's upset that her man is making a scene. And we take care of the cab drivers. The cab drivers leave. And we're like, let's keep the bar open, keep the music going. So now cocktail hour is going to have to be a little extended because all of this ish is happening. And I'm like, I don't feel comfortable. I think he needs to go. The groomsmen powwow, no conversations with the bride and groom. And they're like, okay, let's get him some water. They're about 30, 40 minutes from their hotel where they're staying. Let's get him some water. Let's sit him to the side because the wedding's just getting started. So no one else wants to leave, obviously. Okay, so that's what we're doing. Bride is changing her dress. We're getting ready for introductions and everything. She's changing into a more comfortable dress. They're going to have a beautiful first dance. I put her shoes on. I buckled them up for her. Okay, hey, 5-minute countdown so we can line up. We're only 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes behind for intros, okay? The bridal suite is double-sided. So I put on her shoes and I come to the other side to get something. I open the sliding door. This same gentleman that I've said I don't feel comfortable with, that was just being chased around the resort with a pipe, is now hammering on one of the groomsmen. Hammering, going in. The bridesmaid, her man, like, she's like, oh my gosh, stop. Another one is screaming. Flex reaction, I don't know. Like, I literally am like, stop, and try to pull him off. And then I start screaming because the sliding door is open, like, literally, like, F it. I can't keep it a secret anymore. And I'm like, help, help, out of the sliding door. Who is the closest to the sliding door when I'm saying help? Oh my gosh, it's the groom. It's the groom who comes running, who tackles said inebriated guest. I'm checking to see if the groomsman that was on the floor that was like literally getting punched on is okay. The groomsman in his stunning dapper tux now has the guy in a headlock. They're on the floor. They are on the floor. And his groomsmen obviously hear the commotion and come and help the groom out. The groom was G though. And he was like, stop resisting, stop resisting. He's got him like in the hole, stop resisting, on the floor. At this point, the bride is aware. She's sobbing, she's upset, understandably. At this point, I'm like, if you guys don't have him go, I'm going to have to go. Like, this is some next level type shit. Okay. They escort the gentleman outside the gate and they close the gate. Remember, this is a villa, huge property. So it does have like a long road before you even get to, they walk him out, make sure he's on the other side of the gate and shut the gate. So we're all trying to calm the bride down, wipe her tears. She's been planning forever, once in a lifetime moment. The groom is okay. There's nothing ripped or anything like that. And so we wait about 10 minutes. The staff, mind you, brings us tequila. He's like, hey. And I was like, what? He's like, no, make you feel better. And he brought me a shot of tequila. Like, it had been like that nuts, right? And so we go in. I go on the other side. I check on her. Deep breath. In, out. And you would have thought we marched out. They get ready to walk in. You would have thought I was the coach of like an NFL football team. And I gave the most hypest dose speech I ever could and was like, that was a pass. They do not get to steal your joy. They will not be the memory that lingers from the importance of this day. We are here to celebrate y'all. We're going all in. It doesn't matter. We're going to rock out. Forget about it. We're finna represent like no one's ever represented before. Y'all hear me? I really did that. I gave it all I had because we had to shake that shit off to get the party going. Because at this point, the entire guest, everyone knows what just popped off. And they were like, yeah, yeah. And from that moment on, the best party ever, ever. And when you see these pictures, are so amazing. Obviously, unfortunately, I can't share them. You will never know when you see the incredible party and celebration that they had, the video and everything. You will never be able to tell what had transpired 20 minutes before, 30 minutes before, an hour before. Talk about just overcoming a moment and keeping the main thing the main thing. So story time is up. I hope that was enough to go what, the what, because it's not always perfect. It's not always flowers and roses, but at the end of the day, the show must go on. And it's what we do. We got to do what we got to do to keep it pushing. So I hope you guys enjoyed like this laid back, different type of vibe, story time. There's so many more, and I'll infuse these, every now and then, here and there. But in the meantime, as always, grateful and appreciative that you've allowed me to take up part of your time, and hopefully in a good way. So this is Sarah Jane signing off from After the Yes.